Hi there, thanks for joining. This is Delaney, and I'm going to show you how to use Fieldwire for common owner and property manager workflows.
We're going to dive into work orders now. The work order process varies for many different property managers, but a common complaint that I heard in the industry is that there's really no record of all of the requests. So some are filled out on paper, some get scanned, others are email requests. Sometimes you might just get a phone call, but there's really no centralized location for the formalized process. Luckily, in Fieldwire, with forms, your team can start standardizing the work order process. So forms in Fieldwire can be used to digitalize any paper process you're currently using. Our templates are fully customizable and you can configure them at any time. You can build your own from scratch in a matter of minutes. Here I have an example of a work order template that my team can fill out. When a request from a tenant comes in, whether by phone or email, your property managers can create a formalized work order. So you can see I have a filled out one right here. Now you'll notice I have different fields. These are fields that I've created in my template, but again, this is fully customizable. So whatever makes the most sense for your team, you can throw in. You can see that I have the ability to add entries for material or equipment, different photos, various files can be uploaded, and then of course a signature for approval. Once a work order request comes in and is formalized with the Fieldwire form, you can then send it out to whoever you want. If you want to send it back to the tenant to let them know that it's being scheduled, or maybe you want to email it directly to the vendor, you can do that. You'll just click this letter button and you're actually going to be able to email this form. Now this form can go out to people that are within the Fieldwire environment, but it can also go out to anyone. You have the option of sending it in a PDF or in Excel format in a CSV. And you can add in a message as well. I have an example of what that email will look like when it arrives. So let's say you got a request from a tenant, you fill out the form and you send it out to the vendor to schedule. This is what the vendor is going to see. Here is my formalized work order with my company logo, my building information, and then the actual request with additional information needed. When a work order gets filled out, you'll just go ahead and adjust the status within the form. And then when you're in your forms dashboard, you'll actually have all of the different statuses here. So from the dashboard view, this is really going to allow you to have a quick understanding of all of the different forms. This also creates a great historical record for all of the requested work. Filtering and sorting is really easy and possible because you will be able to easily find any work order you need down the line from that. We even have customers who actually export their forms information out into a CSV format, and then they use that data to find trends such as, the tenant in unit 101 keeps making monthly work order requests, or the AC unit on the third floor keeps needing repairs. Maybe we should replace the unit. So those kind of patterns and trends you'll be able to find with your work orders stored all in one place. Forms in Fieldwire are customizable as mentioned. So if you want to add an extra line item for more information, or perhaps you want to make some of the fields required before submission, you can configure your forms to include that. All right, so last but not least, O&M. So regular maintenance checks on building equipment is obviously really crucial to the health and the sustainability of a building. But keeping record of those checks and making sure your building engineers are consistent in their inspections can be really cumbersome. With Fieldwire, O&M rounds can actually be completed by using checklists on tasks. So tasks are my favorite part about Fieldwire. They can be used for just about anything that you want to keep track of and assign to your team. I'm going to open up an example task so you can see what's going on in here. So within tasks, you can see there are various attributes. On the right-hand side, we have the status. This is going to allow your team to prioritize these items. So you can actually customize these statuses however you like and configure these categories as well. It really just depends on what makes the most sense for your team. Tasks also allow you to create a due date, and you can assign the inspections out to specific team members. So this is going to help you make sure that nothing slips through the cracks. All right, let's see this in action. So I'm going to head over to my plans, hop into a mechanical plan today. Say we want to assign a routine check on a heat exchanger on one of our floors. So I've pinned the task directly onto the plan. I was able to do that by just clicking this toolbar up here and dropping it right into the plan. When I open that task, you'll see on the right-hand side, I can change the status. I'm going to make this a priority 1 because this check needs to be taken care of immediately. I'm going to assign it to my building engineer, Stevie. And then on the left-hand side, I can actually add in a checklist. So I'm going to add a checklist that I've previously created. This is a maintenance checklist specifically for heat exchangers. What I'm doing here is I'm really just uploading a pre-existing list that I've established for my team. And I do this because this really helps create consistency across the building. I want to make sure that all of my heat exchangers are going through the exact same inspection checks. So I make sure that each check will include these individual items. All right, so now we're going to go out into the field onto my iPad. So you'll actually see I have this push notification. So I'm Stevie, I'm walking around in the building and I have my phone with me and I see that Delaney in the office just assigned me this item. So I can go ahead and open that task right here on my mobile device. And now if I'm out in the field, I actually can see these individual items and I can go ahead and I can check off each of these items. Now I'm making sure that I'm checking these different aspects of the heat exchanger. And if there's any messaging that needs to happen, I could add in a message here. I could use talk to text if I don't want to type it out. And then I can also use the camera function. Now I am of course in my apartment and not actually in a building, but you can see I can easily take photos within the task. And then if I need to identify something for my team, I can go ahead and mark that photo up within the app. When I'm done with this inspection, I'm going to go ahead and edit it from open to completed. And now back at the office, my property manager is going to be able to see that this item has been checked off.
There's your general overview for how to use Fieldwire for your work order process. Please feel free to reach out to the Fieldwire team if you have any questions or need any assistance. Thanks for joining.